Okay, this one is reviewing additive identity and additive inverse. Multiplicative identity and inverse multiplication. Yeah. So you have to make sure that you're choosing whether or not it's a plus or a times. Since this is 2 and 0, I don't want to multiply. I'm going to add. And since I'm getting the same thing back, my identity did not change. See that? So this one is additive identity. I'm going to Control C, Control V. I'm going to drag this down here. This one looks as if it's a multiplication of a reciprocal. So that means it's division. It's division. The opposite of multiplication is division, which is the multiplying of a reciprocal. That's a whole lot of things to say, but it is what it is. So you're going to do your times. And you can do an X or you can do the little star. I'm going to do the little star. And since I am trying to turn it into a different number, that is inverse. So Control C, Control V. Drag it down here. So that's our inverse. That's the opposite. Now this one is also opposite. See? 2, -2. So it is adding, but it is the additive inverse because it is the opposite. I'm not keeping the same identity. I'm doing the opposite. I'm reversing. Control C, Control V. I'm going to drag that down here. This one looks like it's a multiplication. And since I am changing my identity, I'm doing the opposite. See? Opposite. That's a 10. That's 1/10. It's the opposite. It's the inverse. It is the reciprocal. It's the opposite. However you need, whatever word you need to remember it. Control C, Control V, but we're dealing with multiplication and the opposite of multiplication, the inverse of multiplication. This one is 0 blank 8 equals 8. So that means it's a plus. And since I'm keeping the same identity of 8 and I'm adding, it's this. Control C, Control V. I just have not done. Okay. This one is 1 blank 12 equals 12. So since I need to keep the same thing, that's a multiplication. Multiplication. So 1 times 12 is 12. It's keeping the same identity. So Control C, Control V. I'm going to put that down here. There you go. You guys are going to finish it. You need to make sure that you're thinking, is it keeping the identity or is it doing the opposite? Identity, same, opposite.